It's what you think about when you wake up. It's what you think about when you go to bed. When you're taking your off time, it's still flirting with your mind, knowing that there's other people that want the exact same thing that you want, and being willing to do more and push harder and be better than all of them. What's going on, YouTube? It is your boy Brian Mark coming at you guys with another episode on this channel. And in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about my 2 secrets to generating over $8 million in online sales. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode. Let's go. Okay, so usually on the YouTubes, I'm doing like, daily vlogs, day in the life, etc. But I'm in Vancouver right now and I'm visiting one of my best friends for his birthday. And so I didn't really have a chance to like carry around my camera and record the entire day. So I still wanted to stick with my commitment of vlogging every single day. But I figured instead of doing like the typical day in the life vlog, I'm going to tell you guys how I generated $8 million of online sales in the last few years. So there's really 2 things that have been the secret to my success when it comes to generating $8 million in online sales. And when I say there's 2 secrets, it's because like I'm in business coaching programs with other individuals that have the same access to information that I have, and they're not as successful as I am. I've met other individuals that have more talent than me naturally in terms of like marketing and sales and all these things, but I ended up becoming more successful than them. And so when I look at all of the like intangibles, like all of the things on paper that I have versus other individuals and the level of success that I've been able to achieve, and obviously I'm still growing and like I'm still like a baby, when you compare me to somebody like Gary Vaynerchuk or Alex Hormozi or whatever. But that being said, $8 million in online sales is no joke. So here are the 2 things that I've personally done that have been a massive help for me in generating $8 million. So number 1, the first thing that's absolutely like imperative that you need to have, and it's like non-negotiable, is self-belief. And when I say self-belief, I actually want to go to the level of, I'm going to say, delusional self-belief. And delusional self-belief means that when I was a drug addict, like I was like, you got to remember, I was like literally at rock bottom. Like nobody had faith in me. Like I had lost my family's faith in me. I had like stolen from people. And in that time, I was convincing myself that I was going to be a multimillionaire. I was literally like going for runs every single day, imagining myself like being a multimillionaire, like literally like delusionally, like just like I'm a multimillionaire. I'm a multimillionaire. And like when I say self-belief, I think that when people take like that, they oftentimes become boisterous with their self-belief, and they're like, oh, like look at all the things that I'm gonna do. Or when I say self-belief, a lot of people will set small goals that they know that they can believe in, and then they'll like pursue those goals. But I think both of those things are empty pursuits, because like when you set a small goal and you hit it, then there's really like you feel you're like, okay, like what's next, right? So I think that that's like an empty pursuit. And I also think that being boisterous is an empty pursuit, because like you can try to convince other people all you want about your goals, but at the end of the day, like if you don't truly believe it yourself, it doesn't really matter. And so belief for me means that I'm spending every single day like convincing myself that it's gonna happen. And convincing myself has nothing to do with anybody else. Convincing myself has everything to do with like myself. Convincing myself has everything to do with like how I feel about myself. Convincing myself has everything to do with like me, like just making the decision that like I'm going to be successful. It's going to happen no matter what. It's not a matter of like if, it's a matter of when. It's like I will do whatever it takes. I will pay the price. Like I will go all in, and like I know that at the end of the road, when I'm done my thing, that I'm going to be successful. Like that to me is belief. And I don't need validation from my mom or my brother or my significant other or my friends, or I don't need to tell anybody other than myself, because like self-belief means self. It means me. It means I'm the one that believes that I can do this thing. And because I call it a delusional level of self-belief in myself, like I don't need validation from anybody else other than me. So as long as I know that I'm pursuing my own goals, and I know that my goals are at the front of my mind, and I believe with every ounce of my being that I can accomplish them, then they will get done. And so that takes a lot of work mentally. You got to learn how to like keep the doors shut for self-doubt and fear of failure and like, pessimism and negativity. You've got to learn how to like close off people from your life who are dragging you down or like planting seeds of doubt in you and telling you that it's not possible. Like you've got to really like hone in on like everybody that's in your life that like supports you and like wants to see you win. You got to surround yourself with those types of people that lift you up, people that encourage you, because like especially when you're first getting started, like it's really hard to develop self-belief when your whole life you haven't believed in yourself. So you've been working at a 9-to-5 that you don't like, and you're like trying to get this entrepreneur thing off the ground. That first like initial hump is so difficult to actually like get that self-belief. And so it's important that you surround yourself with people that are like, you can do this. I got you. But at the end of the day, my first secret to success is, I call it a delusional level of self-belief. Like, I believe in myself so much that it is like delusional. Like, it is like, this guy's crazy, you know? And that is the level that I believe that you need to have in order to be successful. Not, you know, setting small goals that you know you can achieve, and not being boisterous and being like, I'm gonna win. Like, it doesn't fucking matter if you tell 10 people about it if you don't believe it yourself. So the truth and the key and the unlock is to know that it's important for you and only for you, and it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. So that's number one. But I think self-belief by itself, when I was thinking about telling you guys this, I was actually gonna make it like the only thing. But self-belief by itself isn't the case, because, you know, there's a lot of people that believe in themselves that are like, I'm the best, but then they don't do anything. And so the second secret to my success on how I generated $8 million in the last couple of years is obsession. And I'm talking about like obsession. You know, I'm talking about, it's what you think about when you wake up. It's what you think about when you go to bed. When you're taking your off time, it's still flirting with your mind. I'm talking about knowing that there's other people that want the exact same thing that you want, and being willing to do more and push harder and be better than all of them. It's like learning what your competitors are doing and then outperforming them by like a nominal inch, so that like over the course of time, that nominal inch is 3 miles. Just making the decision that you're gonna master every area of your craft. So for me, it was like marketing, it was podcasting, it was sales, it was delivery, and it's still all of those things. And so like obsession is knowing that it's going to be super challenging some days and doing it. Like somebody like Michael Phelps, like you think that he enjoyed swimming as much as he was swimming in order to get ready for his practice. You have to get out of this like need for enjoyment and this need for like, it has to feel good, and you got to get into this level of like obsession. And obsession for me means like, I will do whatever the fuck it takes. Like, I will do whatever it takes. If my business is not succeeding at the level that I believe it should be, I will do whatever it takes. I wake up at 3:30 a.m. every single day. And that's not a flex, that's just a fact. And the reason that I do that is because I know that my competitors are not willing to wake up that early. And I know if I wake up that early, that over the course of time, I'm gonna have an extra 3 to 5 hours on them. And so even if they're ahead of me financially, and even if they're ahead of me like in years, and even if they're ahead of me in experience, like I will fucking catch all of them, because I know that they're not willing to get up at 3:30 in the morning. And like some people are like, that's crazy. I'm like, that's exactly the level that you need to play at. Is you need to be fucking crazy. You need to be like relentless. You need to be like obsessed. You need to be a fucking dog. You need to be willing to go all in. And I think that so many people think that's a cute idea, but when it comes down to actually putting in the fucking work and actually going all in and actually waking up when their alarm goes off and actually pushing themselves to go to the gym when they don't want to go, and actually fucking sending out as many DMs as they possibly can until they fill their roster with the amount of clients that they want to have, until they're serving the amount of clients they want to serve. And then at the end of the day, when they're fucking exhausted, they're like, oh shit, I still have clients. And then they go back into social media to serve all of their clients, and then they go to bed exhausted, knowing that they gave everything they possibly had, only to wake up and do it all again at 3:30 in the morning. That's the fucking level that it takes, is obsession. And so many people don't like hearing that, because they're like, oh Brian, like fucking work-life balance. Like, yo, if work-life balance is what you're after, like this entrepreneurship is not the game for you. And chasing like the highest level of success is not the game for you, because chasing the highest level of success truly does require like obsession, like all fucking in mentality. Like, I'll do whatever it takes, I'll pay the price. And when you do have that mentality and you do go all in and you do start to see strides of success, there are times where, you know, I do take breaks and I relax, but overall, like I would say it's like 90-10. It's not 80-20, it's like 90-10. 90% of the time I'm like ruthlessly obsessed with my mission, wake up at 3:30 in the morning and I'm not done until 5 or 6. And then, you know, 10% of the time I chill and recharge my batteries so that I can continue moving forward towards that like end in mind that I have. So the second key to my success and how I generated $8 million is obsession. So guys, that's it. That's all. There are so many different strategies and tactics that can help you get there, but none of the strategies and tactics will have any sort of value if you start and you don't have a delusional level of self-belief and like an obsessive and just like work ethic and just like relentless attitude. I truly believe that the two secrets to my success on how I generated $8 million in sales are self-belief and obsession. And if you don't have those two things, don't even start, because no strategy or no tactic or no game plan is going to help you get there without those two things. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully you got some value. If you did, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and chase your dreams. Let's go.